Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. Thank you for all the love, guys. This is the first update of the month of November. And again, make sure you guys are subscribed and like the video. It does help out the channel a lot. So, that would be one request from my end. But again, starting off November, obviously today is Saturday. We are in a weekend. On the weekend, more manipulation than usual as CME futures are closed. But again, we're starting off on a really positive note for the broader market. And you're noticing a very interesting thing playing out. You're seeing a lot of altcoins up. Again, if you're looking at virtual, WLD, ICP, Dash, Filecoin, the list goes on and on. You're seeing a lot of altcoins feeling the love. So is this the start? Obviously, Bitcoin is something we want to be paying very close attention to right now. And again, this upcoming week is going to be very important in my opinion. But let's take a closer look and see what's happening with ADA's price. But before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, price 61 cents, up 1% on the USD side of things. On Bitcoin side of things, pretty much break even. Valuation $22.4 billion dollars, and the 24-hour trading volume is approaching $730 million right now. But again, you guys are probably wondering, Crypto ZX, the price of Bitcoin is not mooning, yet you're seeing a lot of green across the board. Because again, if you're looking at Bitcoin has been ranging in the 23.6, so which is a good sign. It's not a bad thing. But again, we're not seeing any sort of crazy price action. We did come up to $110,500 price point, but we haven't really seen, the $112,000 being retested, but we're still within the 23.6, which is a good sign. But what has happened is the dominance. Let me show you guys what I really mean here. Let's kind of zoom in here. So you can see for yourself where the dominance was sitting yesterday. We were sitting at 60.10%. You can see we did come down to 59.79%, but we're pretty much obviously ranging around the 59.9%. So, there's definitely a decrease within the dominance over the last, few hours, which is the main catalyst behind so much green across the board right now for a lot of altcoins. Now, imagine if the dominance starts pulling down to, where we were just 2 to 3 days back. We did introduce ourselves to that range, and I do strongly believe we will see the dominance making its way back towards the downside. Bitcoin is pretty much on the neckline of the 23.6. So, Bitcoin kind of needs to be at 112, to the 117 confirmation, obviously. And then I think, dominance could start, pulling down even more. You could clearly see, back on. Actually, let's take a look at it. So October 30th, where was the price of Bitcoin? You could see for yourself, Bitcoin price was actually sitting at, on October 30th, around the $112,000 price point. But then, we did see that retracement down to 106, which caused the dominance to pick up again. But again, you want to see the price of Bitcoin ranging around these levels for the dominance to start showing weakness. But again, let's take a look at what's happening with ADA's price right now. So as far as ADA price is concerned here, we're still ranging around the 61 cents price point. And at this point, I want you guys to kind of zoom out and see, ADA's price action around this. And, pretty much why I want you guys to zoom out is to, kind of give you guys a little bit of a better understanding as to how much support, the price of Cardano really has around this range. And again, this is not just support that we have built up this cycle. This kind of dates back to, the 2024 level. And of course, back, at the beginning of that major cycle, which took the price of ADA to, the all-time highs. But with that being said, now let's take a look at it on an hourly perspective and really understand where Cardano is currently sitting. So as far as Cardano price is concerned, again, we did come down to this 58.69 cents. We talked about that, but the price was able to rebound back up to this key resistance really fast. And so far, now that key resistance has turned into support, and you can clearly see for yourself, we have been supported. Yes, we saw a wick below it briefly when the price of Bitcoin obviously went below to the 106K key range. No, sorry, not 106K, the $108,663. Once that did happen, you did see ADA price reacting. You can see, we went down to 59.7 cents, but again, quickly making its way back up, and we're able to close above the monthly candle above the 60.1 cents mark. So as of now, we're seeing a range forming. Again, in terms of the price action is concerned, obviously you do know about the resistance around the 62 cents price point. Had a hard time breaking out of here over the last few days, but breaking above here kind of takes us back up to the 64 cents mark, and that pretty much opens the door for us to get back in the 78.6. So again, the steps are, pretty clear. Bitcoin kind of just needs to stabilize itself. If Bitcoin is able to do that, I'm personally projecting, ADA to get back into 61.8 much quicker than a lot of people are realizing. But the fact that we are above this key support line, it is a good sign. Obviously, we're in a weekend. On the weekend, more manipulation as CME futures are closed, but not looking bad as of now. Let me know in the comments what you guys personally think. And yeah, we'll see you later from Crypto ZX and peace.